Hello and welcome to the lecture. So we'll see more about JavaScript in Oracle Apex, and for a better example I have a region there that is very popularly used, that is the interactive grid. There we have an option where we'll be using the JavaScript the most. See, I'm creating a region. I'm just making this as interactive grid and I'm defining the table here. So just use customers maybe, and this will parse it. And now we will see what's the thing. So if you go to the attributes part of this interactive grid, you can see that section that is in the advanced, that's called JavaScript initialization code. So what this is, it's like a callback function. It supports only a function, and that will have a parameter and where you can use and return that parameter again. That's how we will be using here for the interactive grid or any other region like the tree, where we'll have the JavaScript initialization. Not only to the region level, even if you have the columns, if I go here and if I try to go to this customer ID, and even at the column level we can see under the advanced we have the JavaScript initialization. So this is the thing. So it's with respect to component level. And if I go to the region attributes again, and let me try to add a function, like function that will have a parameter here. The function need not have a name. As I said, this is a callback function. So a callback function will generally have like that's with respect to its functionality. Whenever something has happened, it will execute. So this JavaScript initialization means whenever the grid is initialized to the page, this will be executed. So that's what this JavaScript initialization code is. So this with respect to region. So if it's a column, whenever the column is rendered, this will be initialized, this function will be executed. So let us start with putting a console.log, and we'll put config the same again, and we'll see what it's having as the parameters, and we have to return it. We have to return that config, and we'll try to save it. And now let's see with the interactive grid here. Yeah, so we have seen the interactive grid, and this is the thing, and there are lots of console things. We will clear that later on. And if you can see, this is what it is wrapped here inside this Apex site. And if you can go to this thing as a tree, and you can see that in this config objects returns some parameters where you can play with that if you want to customize your interactive grid. So we'll do that later on with the interactive grid. There's a detailed section there. We'll try to explore that more, and this is just I want to give a brief understanding where we want to use that option like a config object. Even you can try to add a new toolbar here like a button, and even you can hide this search button, and lots of things can be done with this JavaScript initialization code. All you have to get the objects the right way to understand, and we'll see more examples on that. This is just a brief understanding to be seen. You can play with the grid, or mostly we'll try to use it as adding a toolbars here, and you can define your functions as well. So this is the main execution part of the JavaScript. Apart from that, you can add as a file as well. We'll see that later on as a JS file. We can use that in the shared components. So we'll try to learn more on and try to get the stuffs and understand about what's happening here with the dynamic actions, and what's happening with the JavaScript initialization, and what you can do with this, and the more customized way. So these things we'll see more in the coming lectures.